Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's so great to have you guys. I also wanted to welcome all of my brand new subscribers and anyone who's randomly coming across this video. It's so great to have you guys. So for today's video, what we're going to be going over are myths and misconceptions when it comes to bearded dragons. So let's get to it. This topic I actually touched on a little bit in a video from I think 2 years ago almost, but I did cover some other things that I'm not covering in this video, and if you want to go watch that, the link is up here. So I'm going to quickly go over these 11 misconceptions and myths. Number 1, which is still widely thought to be true in the bearded dragon community, and that is that bearded dragons absorb water through their scales and through their cloaca. No. This is most definitely a myth and not true, and this was actually tested by a veterinarian. But what they did is they took a bearded dragon who was near death and had them soak in water that was dyed blue, and so they could actually open them up when they passed away and look to see where the blue water went. It didn't go anywhere except in their stomach because they drank some of the water. So this is false. They are not frogs. They don't absorb water or anything like that through their skin. And if you don't know what a cloaca is, that is the only hole they have in the back end, and they pass everything from eggs, poo, and urates through that. So they're not going to be sucking water in. It's a one way only. That brings us to number 2, which is unclogging femoral pores. This is a widely done practice in the bearded dragon community, saying
you have to scrub their pores, you have to make them clean, you shouldn't see anything coming from their pores.
And if you don't know what femoral pores are, these are more prominent in males. These are glands that males actually excrete these pheromones in liquid consistency that turns into kind of a waxy, hard area if it's not scraped off. And what happens is basically the male is marking their territory. So when it comes to this, I don't scrub my dragon's pores. There's no need, because if you have the proper setup where your lizard can go and scrape it off on rocks and hard surfaces, then you're not going to have any issues. That's normal to them. Think about it. In the wild, they don't have anyone scrubbing their butts. We don't need to do that for them. Just have those hard surfaces where they can scrape off. Number 3 is
bearded dragons are poisonous.
Definitely not. Where this came from is the movie Holes, where it was the spotted lizard. If you've never realized that, they used bearded dragons as the spotted lizard and made them look all scary and venomous, and they were the most dangerous lizards in there. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Number 4, and this has to be one of my biggest pet peeves.
Bearded dragons give you salmonella.
So the only way that you are going to catch salmonella from them is if you eat their poo. I mean, quite literally take a chunk of it and eat it. If you're doing that, or if you eat your lizard raw, yeah, you're probably gonna get salmonella. But if you clean them, don't get any poo in your mouth, and make sure you have sanitary surroundings, you're not gonna get salmonella. Number 5 is bearded dragons are too expensive. So this is true and false. In the beginning, when you get a bearded dragon, their equipment is expensive. It also depends where you're getting it from. If you're buying everything new, then yeah, it's gonna be a little pricey. But if you go get a used tank off of Craigslist or something like that, it's going to be cheaper because it's used. When it comes to salad and veggies and stuff, you're not really spending that much on it. That stuff is cheap. If you breed your own bugs, that's even less money you have to spend. So in the beginning, they can be expensive, but in the grand scheme of things, they're really not expensive. To put it into perspective, a dog and a cat is much more expensive in the long run than taking care of a bearded dragon. So number 6, bearded dragons are aggressive. It depends on the lizard. These are actually known to be one of the most docile lizards you can own, and a lot of them actually enjoy attention. However, there are some, like my Aether for example, who are a rescue and was never handled and is an adult and was neglected and abused, and he doesn't really like people. He doesn't like to be held, but he's come a long way and will deal with people. There are some lizards that don't like human interaction, and then there are some that do. You just have to know which one you have. It's the luck of the draw. But generally, bearded dragons really aren't aggressive unless they're going through it, like something like shedding or if they see their reflection or feel threatened. Number 7.
Bearded dragons always need to be in the tank.
False. So bearded dragons you can definitely take out with you. I mean, I literally have 2 videos on this channel of me taking them out for a lizard adventure. I even have a Beardie birthday celebration where I take them around in a stroller outside during the summer. You can definitely take them out of the tank and let them roam around. They should get exercise and roam around at least a couple times a week in your house unless they're brumating. And in order to take them outside, just make sure that the temps are hot enough. You shouldn't be taking them out in temperatures that are below 70 degrees. The best temps to take them out in are 80, 90, and 100 plus Fahrenheit. Number 8.
Bearded dragons don't need water.
False, 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 false! Even though with the majority of bearded dragons you won't see them drinking water from a bowl, they still need water. They should be getting a majority of their water from their diet, you know? Their bugs should be hydrated with water crystals and other foods that you're feeding them. They should be getting greens that are filled with moisture and fresh. They should be getting veggies and fruits that are filled with moisture. They should be getting baths twice a week where they can soak to help with shed and also get them clean, of course, but then drink some water. You can put some water through a syringe and drip it on their nose. Every living thing needs water. So yes, they definitely need water. Number 9.
They grow to the size of their enclosure.
This is very false. Regardless of what their enclosure size is, they're still going to grow to their full length. The only thing that will stunt their growth is improper diet and lighting, so improper care in general. That can definitely stunt their growth. So for example, my Aether was stunted in growth at the juvenile stage because he wasn't given the proper lighting. He wasn't given the proper diet either. He was fed apple cores and wasn't giving supplements and wasn't given UVB. So he has stunted growth for a male. He was mistaken female because he's so small for a male. You can definitely stunt their growth from improper care, but the size of their enclosure has nothing to do with that. Number 10.
They can be converted to vegetarian.
False. That's exactly how you make your dragon deteriorate. Their health will suffer if you only feed them veggies, fruits, and greens. They need the protein from the bugs. When it comes to the juveniles, they need more bugs than adults because they're growing, so they need that extra protein and need to be fed bugs daily. With adult dragons, anywhere from 10 months to a year old, they need to be switched to the adult dragon diet because once they're full grown, they cannot process that amount of protein. If you feed an adult like you feed a juvenile, feeding them bugs every single day, you're going to have issues like renal failure. You're going to have fatty liver disease. You are shortening their lifespan. So just know how old they are, what diet you need to feed them, and they definitely need bugs. And then that brings us to our last and final one. This one is probably going to make some people upset. Calci-sand. It is marketed as safe for reptiles, which is a bold-faced lie. It is actually the most harmful substrate you can possibly have. Sand in general isn't recommended for bearded dragons, but calcium sand, that is exactly like signing a death sentence. And you can't even use this for things like Halloween moon crabs. It has killed Halloween moon crabs. It has killed hermit crabs. It has killed so many exotics, it's not even funny. If this is ingested, it is not going to pass easily because when calcium sand is wet and it's in the stomach, it solidifies like concrete and they can't pass it and it makes them impacted and it will kill them. When they are marketing this to you, they put calcium in it because reptiles need calcium, so that way everyone thinks it's safe. That is the smartest marketing move. It's not even funny, but they don't care about the well-being of your animal, they care about money. So do not use this. I can't stress it enough. Alright you guys, so that wraps up the myths and misconceptions when it comes to bearded dragon, but be sure to stay tuned to the end because I will have extra lizard footage and bloopers. And that brings us to the lizard of the week. So the lizard of the week this week is Clementine and her owner Mel. I mean, the coloring on this baby is just absolutely stunning. So congrats you two, and if you want your lizard to be the lizard of the week next week, be sure to send me those photos to my social media accounts. So if you're still watching, be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my website at www.lizardguru.com for fun lizard things that you won't find anywhere else. Also, be sure to turn on the notification bell for this channel and my second channel, Alex's Random Entertainment. On this channel, I do animations and live videos, things that aren't lizard related, but it is not child friendly on that channel. So as always, from my family to yours, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. But first, enjoy some extra lizard footage and bloopers. Mwah! And if you don't know what a cloaca is, that's their butthole. It's the only hole they have to pass eggs, butt, and urates. Eggs, butt. Okay. Bearded dragons will give you salmonella. But stay to the end. But stay tuned till the end because I will have extra. Congrats you two, and if you want to be the lizard of the week next week,